Right. So President Obama, shortly after he became president, he appointed Ambassador Holbrooke as envoy to South Asia. He's referred to by some as a viceroy, and others in government circles in Pakistan seem to think that his appointment signals a new interest in bettering the situation in Pakistan. And
what does bettering mean? See, bettering is like hope we can believe in. I mean, when the Russians invaded Afghanistan, they also said they were going to better the situation, and in some ways they did. So the status of women in Kabul was better, for example.
Right.
But
not outside Kabul, though.
Not outside Kabul, but inside Kabul, yes, the situation of women was much better. In fact, their main concern was people like the favorites of the U.S. in Pakistan, like Gulbuddin Hekmatyar.
Right.
Made his fun in throwing acid in the faces of women who weren't well dressed. That's what. So yes, the Russians also said they were bettering the situation. One doesn't listen to rhetoric like that. That's what states say. Question is, what are they going to do? So in what respect is Holbrooke going to better the situation in Pakistan? I mean, there are many problems in Pakistan, not to tell you. One of the problems, not the only one, is that the United States has consistently supported militarization of the country and not development of the country. Has that changed? No. I mean, there are problems of living up to the autonomy provisions of the 1973 Constitution. That's pretty crucial. I mean, the Pashtun population, the Balochistan, are not going to be reconciled unless they gain a degree of autonomy as provided for in the Constitution, the last Constitution.
Right.
Is Holbrooke doing anything about that? In fact, are they doing anything except following U.S. objectives of trying to maintain control over the region using Pakistan as one of their agents? That's been going on since Pakistan was created. I mean, it's varied. I mean, it reached its lowest point in the 1980s when Reagan strongly supported Zia-ul Haq, who radically Islamized the country, developed nuclear weapons. The Reagan administration pretended they didn't know about it because they wanted to keep pouring money in. I don't tell you what happened to the country in those years. It was pretty bad. Is anything being changed?
Doesn't seem to be.
But why would you expect it to be? I mean, this is fundamentally policy has remained toward Pakistan has remained within a pretty narrow spectrum since 1947. That's many administrations. It reflects a certain conception of U.S. interests. The conception is explicit in documents. You can read in the internal documents of the late 1940s, early 50s with regard to the whole region that, to quote one of the most influential policymakers, A.A. Burley, if we can control the oil of the Middle East, we can control the world. Okay, that's a leading feature of U.S. foreign policy, as it was of Britain before them. And Pakistan plays a role in that. And now it's a broader role because it's right on the edge of the Middle East, but also on the edge of Central Asia, another significant energy-producing region where the U.S. is trying to compete with Russia and with the Shanghai Cooperation Organization as to who's going to gain control of this. Battles over pipelines, influence, and so on. And Pakistan and Afghanistan happen to be right in the middle of all of this.
Okay, well, President Obama and Senator Kerry sort of seem to acknowledge to some extent that the aid that has been passed on to Pakistan since 1950, since Ayub Khan's time, was more military assistance related. And now, with the passing of the Kerry-Lugar bill, which is supposed to give non-military assistance in the neighborhood of $1.5 billion a year, signals a change of policy. As President Obama puts it, it's the centerpiece of his hearts and minds hearts and minds position, to win the hearts and minds of the Pakistani people. Many people in Pakistan don't even want the aid, actually, because they don't believe that that aid is going to get where it needs to get. Of course, others say, well, we need it, and we're going to have to work around whatever obstacles there are. In your mind, what do you think is going to happen with the money?
I tend to agree with the first group, but I hope it'll be constructive.
Right.
But that should be in the hands of Pakistanis who want to direct it to what's badly needed. Secularizing, strengthening the secular elements of the society, education, which is a total wreck, reconstruction, reconciling the many.
We have no power.
Okay, then you should be supporting the democratic elements.
But I guess, do you think that these people that are making U.S. policy believe or anticipate that that's what the purpose of the money is?
I assume that they believe that the purpose of the money is exactly what you said, to win over the Pakistani people for our goals, not to win them over for their goals, but to win them over for our goals. And this is a way of winning their hearts and minds. I mean, the very formulation simply expresses the traditional imperial mentality.
Right.
It's not aid to compensate for the damage that we've done to Pakistan, which is enormous, but it's aid to win their hearts and minds so they'll support us in doing what we want to do. When they carry out drone attacks, let's say, there is a concern about popular opinion. The concern is whether it'll alienate the population. Is that the right criterion? I mean, if somebody was carrying out drone attacks in the United States, would the question be, are they alienating the population?